All right, we are back with another Pick'em video. Going to be going over my favorite plays for the NBA today. The NBA is back. The All-Star break is now over. We definitely had some fun doing some NHL. We did a lot of esports, especially in the Discord also. But definitely nice to have our tried and true NBA. Definitely my most knowledgeable sport, and definitely a lot of value with a decent amount of games going on today. I think there's like 10 games. So going to be attacking that. If you want to join the Discord, I highly recommend that because fantasy score lines are dropping soon. Dunk lines are going to be dropping soon. And that's something we always like to attack later on in the day. They don't typically make the videos because, again, they come out later in the day. But that's something that we always do over in the Discord. Might as well, show it as we're talking. If you want to get in the Discord, definitely recommend joining. We have a whole lot of success, whole lot of fun, and there's just a lot of good people in here. Love people, shouting out for some wins. We had a nice little two-man esports value play, this Vexit and PZ, which was a nice little hit for us. We hit like a 10x just a few days ago on esports. So even in the hiatus of the NBA, we still attack value. We know how to do that on other sports as well. And would highly recommend trying it out. And the best part about it is it's only $20 a month, but if you want to get in for free, you can join for free at any time using any of my codes or links. They're also in the description of this video. But they're right here for PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, and DG Fantasy. I highly recommend getting on pretty much all of them. But if you want to try one, you'll get the deposit match, which is awesome, using my code and my link right on top of it. But you also get a free month of the Discord Premium. I think a lot of people will vouch for it. They have a whole lot of fun in here. It's not just me as well. You get all my plays right here, but you also get our seasoned chef plays. These guys are, tried and true. They've been with us for a while. And they're always giving, fire soccer slips, fire esports slips, fire NHL, whatever it might be. Some of these guys are experts in their own, regarded field. So have a lot of fun in here. Would love for you guys to join. Check us out. And again, you get a free month if you use any of the codes. Just DM me like probably this guy did, a few of these guys over here, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But let's go over our video picks from last time. That's something we always do over on this channel. I don't try to hide anything. We ended up doing a 5-man. For the video picks, though, we just gave out Kachuk, we gave out Strome, and then we gave out Marchenko. Marchenko was a disappointment. He actually ended up getting 0 shots on goal. He had not got 0 shots on goal. He's only done it, I think, 3 times all year. So I was expecting definitely at least a push. Didn't end up doing anything for us, but 2 for 3 in the video picks, ended up going 3 for 5 in our 5-man on the Discord. But again, we definitely had a lot of fun attacking NHL. It's something I'm going to continue to do, especially on Sleeper. You can get some really good lines on Sleeper for NHL. But yeah, let's jump into the board, get some picks in, and talk some value. All right, so the first guy we're going to be talking about is actually going to be right over on the first half tab. And I'm going to be going to Dante DiVincenzo, a guy that's been getting a whole bunch of run and had a whole lot of success, especially with all the injuries to the Knicks. And we'll point that out in a second visually. But we're going to be going to his 13.5 first half PRA. And let's jump an outlier. This is another partner of the channel. We use this every single day. It gets to show you, not only the hit rates from like the past 5, 10, 20 head-to-head matchups, all these different things, but they also show you opponents' ranks, minutes, and all these things that would, go into making a good or a bad line. So let's go to Dante, kind of see what we're looking at here. And we can see that the 13.5 first half PRA is popping up right on top. I've got this sorted by the last 10. We can see he's hit this in 90% of the last 10 games. So that's good right off the bat. And we can talk about, why is he getting this huge leap? He's getting a 15 very consistently, so he has been very consistent, which is nice to see. But in 2023 as a whole, why do we see a whole bunch of red here? And that's just because we're dealing with a whole lot of injuries. So Outlier also gets to show you all these injuries that they're dealing with. The guys, main name guys are going to be going to OG Anunoby. Julius Randle are both going to be out of this game. So we can go ahead and see, okay, what are the games looking like without OG, without Julius Randle? And we can take out OG right here. So in 2023, these are the games without OG. Now, again, remember, OG was traded to the Knicks later on in the year, so there's not a whole bunch of sample sizes there. But, without OG and without Julius Randle, we can see he's played 8 games, and he's crushed this line in all 8 of these games. So that's the biggest thing. I think we're getting a decent discount on the first half line. You could go to the full game as well. I just like the first half. The hit rate in the first half has just been incredible. And he's going up against the Philadelphia 76ers team without Embiid still. He's going to be out for a little bit longer. And without Embiid, this, pretty solid defensive team is now, not a great defensive team. So we can actually go ahead and look at that defensive matchup right here. We can see that in terms of everything, they're about middle of the road. And then to shooting guard specifically, you can go ahead and look at all these different things. It's hard to specifically with like a shooting guard or small forward type guy. It's hard to get, that pinpointed exactly. I like to use these matchups, like the individual position matchups for point guards and centers. For the shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, it's a little bit more difficult, but you can show that right here. Points is going to be the biggest thing for him here. So again, middle of the road in terms of all that matchup stuff. So hit rate looks incredible, especially without OG, without Randall. He's getting a ton of run, 19 to 20 to 22 actually minutes in the first half. So getting all the run he can handle. Coach Thibodeau likes to run his guys that he trusts, and Dante is definitely one of those guys. So looking great. Hit rate's looking great. Matchup looks okay. And again, this is for the full year. This isn't, regarding just the games without Embiid out of lineup. And he's a huge factor in terms of their defense. So this is probably even a little bit better for us than it's showing. So Dante at 13.5 first half PRA, absolutely loving to see that. Now I did pull up his, his market value throughout like the different sports books. This is DG Fantasy. Highly recommend trying this out. You get 25% off your first month if you use my code as well. And this is just showing us, hey, where his line's at on PrizePicks, and then what are they, compared in terms of the market value on other sports books. They don't have first half stats because not a whole lot of books have those stats. But we do see in terms of like points and rebounds, they were liking the under, which is another reason I'm going to the first half. Fantasy score, they do like the over, so that is good to see. In terms of the PRA for the full game as well, they do like the over. They're giving it a 51.55% chance to go over. So again, if we're going to the first half, it's good to see that they are projected on the over for PRA total. And then for the projection model, we like to go to that as well. Over here again, they don't have first half PRA, but they do have the full game. 26.5. We saw that the odds and the market value are liking the over, and that goes hand in hand with the projection model. They're projecting 29.02 on the full game. So again, if you wanted to go to the full game, I don't mind that. But the hit rate and everything looked really, really good on that first half. So Dante at 13.5, looking really solid for our first half PRA, and that's going to be our first play. Now, the next guy I want to talk about is going to be for the full game. So we're going back to the normal NBA tab here. And we're going to be talking at Drew Holiday going up against the Chicago Bulls. It's going to be going to his 4.5 rebounds and going over here. This was something that I went to a ton at the beginning of the year. Now, recently, he hasn't been doing as good on this line, but we'll show all that in terms of like hit rates and matchup and things like that. For Drew, right over an outlier. I already got it pulled up right here as his rebounds line. It's a 50% hit rate in the last 10 games. So I got the last 10 pulled up. 50% of the time he's gone over, 50% of the time he's gone under. Now, going up against Chicago, they're ranked 15th in terms of rebounds allowed at 43.6. So very middle of the road matchup. These guys have faced off once against each other earlier in the year, and that's where he had 7 rebounds. So good to see that the head-to-head. And then when we back up and look at 2023 as a whole, this looks very, very good. Again, I talked about him hitting this line very consistently at the beginning of the year, and he's at a 72% hit rate on the year. So in terms of hit rate, it looks really, really solid in the whole year. In terms of the last 10 games, it is about a 50% hit rate, but we do like to see that head-to-head matchup they had earlier in the year, he did go ahead and grab 7 boards against these guys. So pretty solid in terms of the hit rate. The matchup is very middle of the road, but it gets a little bit better once we start looking at market value in terms of where other books have this line, and then the projection model. So very, very good in terms of the whole year hit rate. Been on and off lately. But I like this line for Drew, especially when we look at the market value. We're getting 4.5 rebounds right here. They're giving it a 53.46% chance to hit. Now, why is that? It's because all these other books that have this line at 4.5 are very, very heavily favored to go over. So this is about, one of the better lines you're going to see on PrizePicks at minus 132, minus 130, minus 135, minus 145 over on Caesars. So very, very good market value. Anytime you're getting a line that's around minus 130 or I guess below in terms of value across other sports books, it means you're attacking a good line. I like to go then look at the hit rate, look at the matchup and things like that, and see if it makes for a really good line. And this is one of those lines that's pointing, all in the right direction. So market value is looking very, very good. And then in terms of the projection model, I have him pulled up right here, and it's his best line in terms of projection as well. That 4.5 line, again, we saw that the sports books are favoring this slightly on the over, but RotoWire's projection model is at 5.95. So almost projected for 6 rebounds. Again, we only need 5. So everything really pointing in the right direction. This is RotoWire, by the way. Highly recommend trying them out. You'll get a 2-day free trial just by clicking the link in the description. I don't even think you have to put in a credit card or anything, but they have an awesome projection model. It's one of my favorite things about them. And they have a whole bunch of different tools for really everything in DFS. So yeah, loving Drew in terms of hit rate, in terms of, matchups, not bad. In terms of the market value and the projection value, all pointing towards the right direction. So Drew, going to be a very confident second play for the day. And then the last guy I want to talk about, I'm going to show on Prize Picks. I actually did play this on Prize Picks as well because it's more of a personal play on Prize Picks at 7.0. But D'Angelo Russell's line on Sleeper, you can get at 6.5. And I'll show you actually the slip I did run out with him. D'Lo right here at 6.5, a 1.57x. We'll discuss, the odds and things like that. But I'm loving D'Lo. You're going to look at the hit rate and say, what are you talking about? The biggest thing here is there's no LeBron James today. And without LeBron, D'Lo gets a ridiculous amount of assists. So I got his page pulled up right here. Again, on Prize Picks, it's at 7.0. But if you go over on Sleeper, sign up for Sleeper. If you're not on it, use code RICH. And not only will you get the $500 deposit match, which is absolutely insane, but you'll also be able to get into the Discord for free. You'll be able to get my Sleeper selections, for an entire month. Just DM me, say, hey, I used your code. I also got to use the D'Lo line at 6.5, which I think is awesome. But I'll say, yeah, sure, I'll get you in for the month free. Here you go, blah, blah, easy peasy. So highly recommend getting Sleeper to take advantage of this 6.5 line. But again, if you're only on Prize Picks, this is at 7.0. Let's take a look at his page, though. And we can see, again, what am I smoking? Two of the last 10 games he's gone over this, which means it's an 80% hit rate on the under. In a lot of these games, he's not even really close, getting, 5 assists or something like that. But he is going up against the Warriors, who give up, again, I talked about the positional thing. He's very much a point guard, especially when LeBron's out of the lineup. And to point guards, they're giving up a whole bunch of assists, 23rd ranked at 8.8 assists per game. So love to see that. We can see the head-to-head matchup. These guys have faced off against each other once. This is also a team that D'Lo used to play for, so there's always that added oomph. So it's okay to see that he got 5 against these guys last time. But again, the biggest thing that we're talking about here, you can see right here, in terms of the whole year, 29% hit rate. But the biggest thing is without LeBron James, who has been ruled out. He's not a game-time decision. He's fully out. And they've played 7 games without him. And D'Lo's absolutely crushed this line in all 7 of those games. Hasn't even pushed this line, which is awesome to see. The lowest amount being 8, twice against Utah and Minnesota. Utah being an easier matchup, Minnesota being a difficult matchup. And then against Utah just the other day, right before the All-Star break, he had 17 assists. So it's actually just trending upwards. It's an incredible hit rate. I think we're getting a great discount without LeBron in the lineup. D'Lo has the ball in his hands a lot, and he's got a great connection with the guys, without LeBron having to soak up all that usage. So D'Lo at 7.0 I think is okay. I do want to point out, again, it's more of a personal play. We can go ahead and look at the odds over here. We can see D'Lo. I got his market value. That's what I talk about when I'm saying odds. And we see that at 7.0, it is still favored to go over at 51% chance to go over, given the odds of the other sports books. We're seeing this at 6.5 over on Pinnacle. It's a minus 156, so very, very heavily favored to go over. FanDuel's already got this at 7.5, and then DraftKings is at minus 145, minus 179, minus 140. So you can see very, very heavily favored to go over that 6.5 line. And without LeBron, we've seen this is amazing. On Prize Picks, again, this is very much push potential. It's more of a personal play, but again, you kind of saw the hit rates without LeBron James. So looking really, really good for D'Lo here. He's got a great matchup. It's a team that he's played for in the past, a team that's traded him, so he's got that extra oomph to play with. And so loving D'Lo at 7.0. But again, highly recommend going on, getting Sleeper, getting the month free of the Discord, and also getting this line at 6.5. So that's going to be our third and final play of the day. Super excited to have NBA back, but I do do a little recap here for the guys that just skipped to the end of the video. Maybe you don't have enough time. Maybe you just don't want to watch the whole video. But again, I always say it's definitely advantageous to watch the reasoning and why I'm taking all these picks, the hit rates, the matchups, the market value, the projection models, all these different things. So we got Dante DiVincenzo over 13.5 first half PRA. You could definitely go for the full game, but we saw the hit rate is very, very good, especially without Randall, without OG in that lineup, who are both injured again today. We got Drew Holiday over 4.5 rebounds, and then we got D'Lo, who we just talked about, over 7.0 assists. But again, highly recommend going over and trying to get that over on Sleeper. But that's going to do it for this one. Again, typically I try to give, 4 or 5 plays, get you guys as much value and options as possible. Only 3 today, just because it was the timing. I was looking at the lines. A whole lot of lines were getting bumped. So if you don't know how the Discord works, if you're not in the Discord, I typically like to get a 5-man out, and then I run, 1 or 2 2-mans within that 5-man. And I kept having 4 plays up, and then one would get bumped off, and I'd have another 4 plays up, and then one would get bumped off. So only 3 for the day. Again, I had 2 more, but they've already been bumped. That just happens when you attack value. But yeah, super excited about these 3, and super excited just in general to have the NBA back. So again, if you want to join the Discord, definitely get in here. We have a whole bunch of fun in here, a whole lot of good people. That's my whole main point. You want to be attacking value in terms of your props, but attacking value in terms of good people to join the Discord. And we have a whole lot of those people. So I think a lot of people would recommend it. We have a whole lot of fun in here. Again, we don't just play NBA. We attack esports. We have each other's back when say, oh, there's an underdog discount right now. So that's always fun to see when you have these people shouting that out, so you don't miss any of the promos that all these different platforms are throwing at you. So that's what I'll be doing next after this video goes up, attacking the underdog discount. If you're not on Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Dabble, DG Fantasy, any of those things, again, you can get in here for a month free. Just use my code, DM me, say, hey, use your code. I'd like to try it out for the month, and I'll get you right in. So that will do it for this one. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more NBA.